Hi everyone, welcome to Carpe Diem Sailing. My name's Marco, I'm a Sail Canada cruising instructor, and in today's video, I'll be talking about the cost of excessive heeling and weather helm. For many sailors, especially the less experienced, but sometimes also for the veterans, there is a distinct impression that when the boat is heeled right over, you're going very fast. Certainly it often feels that way, but the reality is that for most sailboats, especially those with no overhangs, heeling excessively actually hampers performance. This is what I mean by overhangs. This boat is a very traditional full keel design from the 1920s. You can see that relative to her overall length, she has a short waterline, with long overhangs at the bow and stern. Now in a displacement hull, the length of the waterline dictates the hull speed, which is the theoretical maximum speed for that hull. Hull speed is determined by the following formula: 1.34 times the square root of the waterline length. In this case, the waterline length is 60 feet, which gives us a hull speed of 10.4 knots. But heeled over to the rail, the long overhangs increase the waterline to almost 90 feet, which increases the hull speed to 12.7 knots. So theoretically, in a hull such as this, with long overhangs fore and aft, heeling would increase the speed. In a more modern hull such as this, however, there is very little to be gained by heeling excessively. Furthermore, there are numerous disadvantages to excessive heeling under sail. They are: weather helm. A little is good to give the helm a lively feel, but too much will hamper performance. Leeway, the downwind drift of the boat through the water. I will expand on these two factors a bit later in the video, but there are a few more factors that I want to mention here now, and they are somewhat self-explanatory. Stress on the rig from carrying too much sail. When you think about it, the shrouds and stays are essentially holding the boat on its side. Stress on the rudder from excessive weather helm. Boat speed will suffer from excessive rudder angle acting as a brake. And finally, crew discomfort. Whether physical or psychological, it's a lot more work to handle a boat that is overpowered and could cause crew anxiety. I now want to expand on weather helm, what it is, and what causes it. It is a tendency of the boat to want to round up into the wind when heeled over. As the boat heels over, the underwater shape changes and becomes asymmetrical, and the boat wants to turn away from the direction to which it is leaning. This is corrected by turning the rudder. This is called weather helm. Excessive weather helm can also be caused by the center of effort, the CE, being aft of the center of lateral resistance, the CLR, and that will be the subject of a future video on advanced sail trim. As mentioned in previous videos, sailboats have keels to create lateral resistance and prevent sideways drift called leeway. As the boat heels over, the area of the keel becomes relatively smaller, thus allowing the boat to make more leeway. It might feel like the boat is moving fast through the water, but when sailing upwind, you will be making much more leeway. This leeway will cost you in the end, as we see in this animation. Here we see a neutral angle of heel and a centered rudder. As the boat heels and wants to round up into the wind, we turn the rudder to keep going straight, weather helm. This creates drag through the water, but at low rudder angles, this is negligible. In this book on trim by North Sails, they state that any more than 4 degrees of weather helm indicates the boat is out of balance. It is obvious here from this picture that the rudder is creating an enormous amount of drag and will ultimately slow the speed of the boat through the water. In addition, the rudder will be stalled, creating a lot of turbulence, and will no longer be steering effectively. Here is our teaching boat with neutral rudder. This is 1/4 turn of the wheel, and the most weather helm I ever carry. And here is full rudder. Once again, you can see how much of a brake this would create moving through the water. A hard-pressed boat, heeling over so the rail is in the water, can create all kinds of stress and anxiety. The boat will likely be pounding. It will be difficult to steer with a heavy helm. It's hard for crew to stay in place, and the angle of heel can really scare some people. When it comes to heeling, less often means more. See you again soon for our next video on how to correctly fold a sail and why it's important for sailing performance.